But one driver who has decided he will not be backing down to Max Verstappen as well, George Russell. Spencer, do you want to get into the drama of the year, which emanated from the moments after the Qatar Grand Prix last weekend?
Yes. George Russell refusing to stop making George Russell happen. It's going to make George Russell happen, George Russell, by, first of all, getting into a penalty brouhaha with Max Verstappen and saying that he had lost all, and that once Verstappen heard what happened, Verstappen said that he had lost all respect. I believe that is verbatim.
Yes.
For George Russell, saying that you see a very different person in the paddock than you do on the track. I think that's
two-faced. Yes. He said he was two-faced and that he lost all respect for Russell for trying to screw him over last weekend. So I was listening. So fast forward to the media going on for this weekend's race in Abu Dhabi. More information came to light about the stewards meeting last weekend where Max and George both had to go and talk about the qualifying incident. So I was listening to Ted's Notebook, the Sky Sports pod, where Ted talks into his phone on a bus. Usually
he's walking
around. Yeah, like he's like he's on location and he's like, these are the things I heard today and the things that I saw today. So from what I understand, reporters were aware that there was some sort of incident last weekend where words were exchanged in the stewards meeting, but it hadn't been confirmed. No one knew exactly what was said, but there may have been Netflix cameras in the vicinity during one of these face-to-face altercations. So that might be interesting. This was in this most recent Thursday's Notebook episode. So if you want to listen to that, please do, because I'm just summarizing it here. That's the primary source for all of that information. But anyways, so what came to light in Abu Dhabi a few days later was that George claims Max Verstappen said, quote, let me find the quote. I don't want to get the quote wrong because I feel like this. Okay. He said he would put.
I have not seen this quote.
Oh, you've definitely seen this. He said he would put me on my fucking head in the wall.
Yeah,
that quote. Yeah, you've definitely seen that quote. So that was the one that came out a few days later. It was like, ooh, that's a little more aggressive than your average. I've lost respect for you. Blah blah blah. And Verstappen obviously is denying that he said that. He's like, that's not what happened. So then we get Toto and Christian Horner going after each other in their subsequent media interactions after Qatar. So this is now we're still in Abu Dhabi. We're finding out about things that happened in Qatar. And I know this timeline is a mess, but bear with me here. The upshot is that Max and George clearly had this qualifying incident where George feels like Max took it a step too far with what he said to the stewards, and George is saying that Max is a bully, that no one wants to stand up to him because they're afraid, that Michael Masi would have feared for his life if he had been, basically, if roles were reversed in the 2021 Abu Dhabi race, Masi would have feared for his life going against Max, making a decision that would have been bad for Max and not bad for Lewis. And then he made another comment about how Red Bull mechanics were all trying to leave Red Bull in droves after the Hungarian Grand Prix because of what Max said on the radio there, which was one of his outbursts earlier this season. So this was a whole thing. George went crazy in this and just said it all. He said everything, and he's claiming that everyone agrees with him. They're just afraid to say what's on their mind. And then Toto Wolff was like, yeah, and also Christian Horner is a yapping little terrier.
Every Christian Horner insult boils down to you are a small dog.
You're short. Annoying, and we don't like
short.
you.
You're short and annoying. And I love that Toto fundamentally, George Russell can go off for paragraphs and paragraphs, and it still won't make anyone as mad as Christian Horner is when Toto Wolff is like, you a small dog.
Can you do yapping little terrier in the voice?
Yes, he's a yapping little terrier.
Okay, yeah. Thank you. We have the video of Horner's response, which is funny for other reasons. We are going to play that now because we need to react to this live.
I'd rather be a terrier than a wolf, maybe. Toto Wolff describes you as and I'm quoting him, a yapping little terrier. Well, look, I love terriers. I think they're great dogs, and I've had 4 of them. I had a couple of Airedales, which are the king of the terriers. I had a couple of West Highland terriers called Bernie and Flavio. And the good thing about a terrier is they're tremendously loyal. I mean, Bernie, he was an aggressive little dog. He'd go for anybody. And Flavio, he was a bit more chilled out. He liked to spend time. He probably ate a bit too much as well. But look, I think to be called a terrier, is that such a bad thing? They're not afraid of having to go at the bigger dogs. I'd rather be a terrier than a wolf, maybe.
Boo.
Yeah. You know what? That's about as good as you could get coming off that, right? Except I'd rather be a wolf, because a wolf is larger, and a wolf doesn't sit. A wolf follows his own rules.
It's such a lame comeback. Oh my god.
It's
so
very lame.
Oh, because his name's
this follows, by the way, in our theory that Christian Horner has no game.
Oh my god.
No game, no spontaneity, no nothing. Cannot trash talk. Meanwhile, Toto's just got bars. You put Toto on a mic, 2 sentences, you're dead.
It's such a bad comeback, and the rambling about his Airedale terriers just so it's such a non sequitur. He's looking for the retort. And then he finally gets at the end, and then he says, "Maybe I'd rather be a terrier than a wolf. Maybe." Don't
short that. You're about that short guy life. Again, this is the most, please don't put it on the internet that I was bothered. Please don't put it in the paper that I was bothered. He's deeply bothered at all times. That's why he can't stop talking into a mic.
Yeah, he can't stop. You're right. Yapping little terrier remains the best insult that has ever happened, at least this season in F1. I can't think of anything better than yapping little terrier, and hearing it in Toto Wolff's voice is amazing.
I will always be taller than you. Always.
I saw someone posted well, what is Christian Horner supposed to say? Toto's incredibly handsome, rich, and tall, and athletic. What comeback do you have? And I'm like, yeah, you know what? That's fair.
Yeah, nothing. Just gotta be like, I don't know, man. You do you.
Yeah. So that was the whole Max George drama. I think that the best possible way that this could have come to a head also was that they had the yearly drivers dinner that night too. If this happened 6 months ago or 3 months into the season, we're not really probably thinking about it at the end of the year oh man, where are these guys sitting at dinner? But instead we got full diagrams of where every driver was sitting at the drivers dinner that they do every year before the final race of the season, and that was awesome.
And then they've all got to sit together. Yeah, it's delightful. This is, by the way, where we miss Kimi Räikkönen. We need one person who diffuses all of the tension by being even more alien, hostile, and strange than anything else. We need to find a driver so antisocial and so not house trained, and just drop him into the middle so that they can all go, well, we're bad, but have you seen that guy?
There was reporting that all of the drivers got there and left a seat open next to Max, and George was the last person to arrive and walked in, and Max was like, "Hey, George," and George took the seat and moved to the other side of the table because he didn't want to sit next to Max. So everyone, all of the drivers were in on it. They all posted the picture with funny captions. Lando's caption was something along the lines of "Yes, the two you're thinking about were sat as far away as possible from one another." And like we mentioned, Valtteri kindly picked up the check.
But see, that's the peacemaker. That's what he's here for. We need him at Red Bull next year. The going back, by the way, one little PS on this. George Russell. I said many things and told everyone what I thought, and it took many minutes, and I said all of the things. Max, I'll fucking kill you. You need to understand how concision is your friend. Right? It's
true. You know what? It's true. George, he brought up so many different points that like I think they're all sort of getting lost. Like the
Mhm.
general sentiment of what he's saying, I think I believe.
I think it's mostly
I
true.
believe that there are drivers that are like, there's nothing we can do about this. Like, this is the way he drives. This is the way he lashes out. And like, if we say something, then we're going to get made fun of by everyone. And Christian Horner's going to be like weird and come up with weird insults for us. And like, he's too powerful and he's too strong and he's on too powerful of a team. And like, blah, 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 blah. We can't do anything about this. And George was like, no, I'm putting my foot down. Here's my bull, like pulls out like a notepad with all of his lists. Yeah. And now everyone's like, wait, well, hold on, wait a second. I would like a reporter. I would like someone who does this for a living to systemically go through each and every thing and like debunk it or validate it. I'm sure there are drivers that would off the record be like, he's right.